Today I'm going to talk about being a master of disguise. Now, a master of disguise is someone that's an expert at hiding their appearance from others. But I don't just mean physically, but also their intent, their emotions, lifestyles, etc. In my opinion, there are two different types of scenarios that a master of disguise is going to face. The first type is where being seen by anybody can ruin the goal or mission. Like for instance, if you're hunting a deer and it sees you or smells you, the deer is going to run away and you lose your chance to shoot it. The second scenario is where being seen has little to no effect on the goal, and in some cases may actually cement your disguise. Any of the scenarios that I'm not thinking of that doesn't fall between scenario 1 and scenario 2 probably means that it falls between the two, where there's a combination of the both of them. Like for instance, the cop who had chased a prisoner down that was running down the highway, and when the prisoner was questioned, he simply said he was out for a run and it was part of a construction company. The prisoner even made a mistake by forgetting the first fake name he gave the officer and giving it a similar name, and the cop didn't even catch on. Now an example of the second scenario where being seen has a little effect, or actually it's a positive effect on the goal, is something like a social event, where you would meet people and give out your name and likes and dislikes, your occupation, and even if they're lies, it makes you more trustworthy because you're giving away information about yourself to the group. While somebody in a corner, very silent and looking around and not saying anything, might be more suspicious because they're not conforming with the standards of a normal social event. The first thing you want to do is to conform to the environment that you are in. And in some cases, this is actually a literal statement in which you have to wear camouflage or a ghillie suit in the forest to hide from predators or people. So you're kind of like a ninja in which you want to blend into the environment. Like for instance, a ninja would wear darker clothing because he wants to blend into the night. So in this case is the first scenario, where you don't want to be caught at all because it can ruin the whole goal. And so, if you know where you're going to go beforehand, what you can do is wear colors that match that environment. Like I said before, with the green camo for rainforests and normal forests, or desert camo if you're going to a desert area, or darker colors like a dark blue or dark navy blue to blend into the night. If you couldn't prep beforehand and you wore clothing that makes you stand out, like for instance a red colored shirt in a forest, kinda looks weird. So what you would do is either take it off or keep it on, and in both cases put mud over it to kind of blend in with the ground, and maybe some leaves as well to kind of make a makeshift ghillie suit. And by the way, a ghillie suit is a type of suit that resembles the foliage and other plants around a specific area to make you blend it even more than camel could. So think of it like a Chewbacca suit because of how hairy it is, but instead of hair that's brown, it's more like green colored grass. But there are also different colors depending on the environment that you choose it for. Now what I described is a scenario where there are a lot of objects to hide you from and very little people around. But sometimes that's not the case. So you have to blend in, but not to the surrounding area, but with the people that are there, like in a crowded bus station or an airport or just a street that's very crowded. And following the idea that the scenario means that you can't get caught at all, you really want to try hard to blend in and not be discovered. One low-tech way to hide yourself in plain sight would be to wear something that covers your face. For instance, a mask, which is going to become more common due to the pandemic around the world. Or a baseball cap with your head tilted downwards to hide from both cameras and people from seeing your face. And sunglasses to hide your eyes. These are all great ways to make sure that people don't see you in a public area. You could also get very technical with it and get prosthetics like they use in movies, but this takes a lot of preparation and time and someone with a lot of skill to do it. Another way to avoid detection is to have an extra set of clothes on you at all times. These clothes have to be opposite to the colors and style that you are currently wearing right now. So for example, let's say you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt, sunglasses, shorts, sandals. Go into the bathroom, change into a baseball cap, sunglasses, or maybe normal glasses instead, a black t-shirt or a black long sleeve, sweatpants, shoes. Now you have basically blended it away because what they saw at first is not what they see anymore. And the reason this is effective is because a lot of times people don't look for you by your face, but actually by what you were wearing if they have seen you before. So colors, shapes, styles, and so by changing it, it becomes harder for them to track you. Now, obviously, this is a very simplified version of the first scenario in both cases of the forest or the social event because there are a lot of details that have to be put into it. For instance, how to hide your tracks or how to make a relatively comfortable and effectively hidden shelter. Things like this are something you have to look up yourself because there's such a wide variety of exceptions and scenarios on the subject. Now the second scenario is where being seen or even being caught doesn't have a negative effect on the mission and even helps cement your disguise as someone that you claim to be. A great example of this scenario is what I said before in the beginning of the video, which is a social event. But it could be almost anything: a party, a funeral, an interview, a meeting, whatever. The most important thing is to blend into that crowd so you don't look weird. The first thing you want to do is check the dress code of the event. Sometimes it can be directly told, like say a black tie event, or it can be just implied, like you're going to a lawn party or a summer party, you're going to wear shorts and a t-shirt, not a suit. You will need to learn a lot about clothing so that it looks very nice when you go to this event. So not just, how to wear a suit, but specific accessories you can and can't wear in certain occasions, what kind of colors match and what don't, etc., etc. The next thing to do is to project confidence to the people around you, and the clothing can help project that, but you'll need to do some of it yourself. Anxiety and nervousness and even panic can be like putting a target on your back, and this is because people are going to see that you don't really belong there because you feel uncomfortable with the scenario at hand. So instead, you want to act confident. You belong there, no one got to question you, it's okay. In fact, most people don't even look at you or even acknowledge you. They just want to care about themselves, so you got nothing to worry about. Just relax and stay cool. Next thing is playing catch up, because while confidence and the dress can pass off a disguise to a certain degree, it doesn't mean that it won't look weird when you start talking. So this means researching important subjects that they talk about, including politics, current events, economic situations, etc., etc. Having this knowledge on the subjects, along with views and stances that you personally have, whether they're real or not, can help you seem more legit than someone just spewing out facts that they looked up on Google, even though you did the same thing. So this means you don't have to take a lot of notes on the subjects you're researching, along with what a target or target's stances are on these subjects, to make it look like you care about them and what their opinions are. Along with this, politeness, class, charm can help avoid suspicions from others and help your identity become more concrete. The most important thing though is to be silent if you don't know what's happening. Because you know what they say, it is better to be silent and be thought of a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. So basically what it's saying is that to be a dumbass and start speaking about things you don't know about, and instead take notes if possible and observe so that it looks like you're contemplating, not much being lost at what's happening. And that's pretty much it, though it's the broad strokes and not the specifics, which you have to look on into yourself to find out what you want for that specific scenario. But overall, I feel like you got this.